The High Republic, Shadows of Starlight Issue 1, sees the Starlight beacon plunge from the orbit above Iram, hitting the planet and killing thousands, including some members of the Jedi Order who are aboard. Jedi Master Oppo Rancis calls back all Jedi of all ranks to Coruscant as the rescue effort gets underway. Elzar Mann tells Ava Chris about the recall, and the woman knows that things must be worse than they thought. At the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, Masters Key Scar, Agra, and Yoda watch the Jedi return to the temple en masse. Agra knows that the Nihil used the mysterious Jedi-killing creatures called the Nameless, so that is why they recalled so many, so they can investigate without any Jedi getting hurt. Yoda regrets issuing the recall, but their numbers are so few and their enemy is very powerful. 1 week after Starlight fell, Grand Master Lahu speaks to the summoned Jedi along with Masters Prati Vita and Keaton Marag, telling the Jedi of the Nihil and how they have attacked the Republic fair at Valo, though that was one among several atrocities, and it all led to the destruction of the Starlight beacon. Master Rancis tells them to mourn the loss of their fellow Jedi, but then also celebrate their return to the Force. Master Caro then warns them of an unknown creature that targets and kills Jedi, like it did to Master Loden Greatstorm, invading their minds while feeding on their use of the Force. Master Rosason tells them of Marchion Ro, the leader of the Nihil, and he has finally revealed themselves and deployed a technology that has created a barrier around an area of space, which they have dubbed the Storm Wall, and any ships that try to traverse it via hyperspace are immediately destroyed. Master Yariel Poof reveals that all of this and more are why they have been recalled, and it's why they are enacting the Guardian Protocols. The Masters believe that the protocols are the correct response for these threats, despite not being at war. They explain the protocols will allow younglings to begin learning combat skills and be given fully operational lightsabers, while Padawans of any age will be allowed to undergo the trials and become Jedi Knights. Some Jedi think that they are being turned into soldiers, finding it ridiculous since most of them are scholars. The Council finish up the meeting by telling the Jedi their missions will be evaluated on a case-by-case basis by the Council, hoping that the Force is with them all. A month later in the Jedi Armory, Master Gavina puts the finishing touches on her latest lightsaber creation, shaving off a small piece of metal on the hilt to properly balance it. Master Kirak thinks that it's her finest work to date, as the woman reveals that she has made her final piece of art for a while, since thanks to the Guardian Protocols going into effect, their elegant weapons are being replaced with simple battle sabers. She tells her students to use the schematics found in Volume 5 of Professor Hu Yang's technical manual, upsetting the students who wanted to create something unique to them. Kirak knows that these battle sabers only have to produce a blade and protect the Jedi, since their work is about saving lives, and that's all it's ever been about. 3 months after the fall of the Starlight Beacon, Reath Silas and Adie's son Z look over the memorial to the fallen Jedi. Adie hates looking at it, but Reath knows that their friend Comag Vitus will come back to them, and he comes to the memorial every day to see if his name is gone. However, it never is. Adie wishes that Yoda was around to help them, but he left just after the recall and hasn't been seen since. Reath, however, knows that's not true, as Master Yoda and a cloaked and hooded being walk by. Reath gets a bad feeling about the person in the cloak, however he finds it a familiar feeling in some way, remembering how Yoda had someone with him after the Battle of Corellia, but whomever it is, he doesn't like them. At the Council chambers, Elzar Mann implores the Council to find a way to breach the Storm Wall. The Council remind him that Chancellor So's best technicians are working with Kevan Tar on the problem, but Elzar doesn't think that's good enough since Jedi are trapped on the other side of the Storm Wall, and Avar Kriss and Porter Engel are on the list of the missing. However, he knows they both survived the Starlight Beacon crashing and they are on the other side of the Storm Wall, since what else would they do but take the fight to the Nihil and go where they are needed? He demands that they go and try and save them, as Yoda tells him they won't be doing that. Elzar pleads with Yoda to mount a rescue mission, but Yoda reminds him that the Storm Wall is keeping the other Jedi trapped in a dark, shadowed part of the galaxy, which is where they are needed, since what better way for a Jedi to bring the light than in a darkened place? He tells Elzar to leave the council chamber since they have something to discuss, reminding him the Force is their responsibility, not the battles with the Nihil. Yoda meets with the rest of the council, telling them that he has searched for answers on these nameless creatures who killed Jedi, believing that he has found them, and he welcomed the cloaked being who accompanied him. The being reveals himself to be Azlin Rel, the fallen Jedi. Azlin assures them that he is not their enemy and only walks this path since he has no choice. He says that Yoda helped calm his mind, but he made a sacrifice that none of the council could have. He reveals his bloody, dirty robes, proclaiming that he has embraced the dark side and did it for all of them. The council get ready to attack, but Yoda calms them, telling them that he has worked with Azlin for some time now and he will not harm them, and besides, if the entire council couldn't handle one old man, then maybe they shouldn't be the council. Azlin reveals that he encountered the nameless creatures years ago and knew they must be studied so they could learn how to destroy them, but his terror grew with everything he found. Yoda reveals that during Azlin's search and growing fear, the dark side took hold of him and fractured his mind, but he found some secrets to the nameless and together they'll discover them again. A month later, Yoda sits with Azlin in his detention cell, wanting to help conquer his fear and free him from the dark side. Azlin wants to get started, joining Yoda in the Force, and the two fall into a dark cave, where Azlin, now his younger self, tells Yoda that they must leave before it comes. Azlin becomes scared, igniting his lightsaber and attacking, as in reality, Azlin has taken one of the temple guard's lightsabers, using it to slash at Yoda. The Master defends himself with his own saber, pushing Azlin against the wall and telling him that it's probably time they rested before they make another attempt. A month later, Masters Adampo and Yaril Pulf meet with the Supreme Chancellor So, who thanks the Jedi for accepting her invitation. So tells the Jedi that the Nihil Raiders are coming out of the Storm Wall to terrorize Republic worlds, and to respond, she has sent a defense coalition and Admiral Carrara to patrol the sectors. But it's not enough. She knows that they need some fast response squads and wants the Jedi Knights to be among their ranks. Amparo reminds her that they are not hunters, but protectors, but the Guardian protocols allow for such actions to happen. But this all needs to be authorized by the Council themselves, not the Chancellor. So understands and thanks them for taking her plea to the Council, and over the next few months, the Jedi join the battle against the Nihil, while Yoda witnesses more of Azlin's past, watching his studies and how he bled his lightsaber crystal upon turning to the dark side, and how he discovered a pathfinder device that could take them to the planet of the Nameless. 6 months after the fall above Travix Prime, Yoda and Azlin board the patrol cruiser Galians. Azlin is grateful for Yoda's help and also viewing him as a person, not a monster. Yoda understands his encounter with the Nameless was what took his light, and he walked the dark out of fear. But he knows the path goes both ways and he can use it to get back to the light. Yoda gets to the task at hand, knowing the compass directing them to the Nameless planet is with the descendants of Spence and Das Lefbra, people that Yoda found within Azlin's memories and who settled on Travix Prime. Azlin had forgotten about them until Yoda pulled their names from deep in his mind, hoping the Pathfinder compass will help them. As they move towards the shuttle, an Abedido woman suddenly is overtaken by an unseen force, which takes her to the cruiser's command deck, where she pulls various levers and pushes various buttons, taking control of the ship's guidance systems. As their shuttle descends on the planet, Yoda and Azlin watch helplessly as the cruiser crashes headlong into the city below, destroying much of it and itself. Yoda tells the pilot to contact the Republic and to send aid at once, and upon thinking about what happened, he comes to the realization that Azlin did this. Azlin is grateful to Yoda since without his patience and kindness to mine his own dark clouded memories, he would never have remembered this planet, since the potential path to the Nameless could have been used against them. But now, thanks to him, he has sealed the route forever, and in doing so, they have done good work. Yoda begs to differ since he murdered thousands of people, but Azlin believes that it to be a necessary sacrifice, and regrets none of it since the darkness took so much from him, but he considers it fair since it gave him time to destroy the Nameless before they can kill them all. Looking over the destruction, he tells Yoda that it was a gift for him to everyone else who touches the Force. He begins removing his cybernetic eyes, unscrewing them to reveal his hollowed out face. He tells Yoda that he doesn't see the Nameless like he does, and he will save them all since he can see what they cannot.